So I want to talk about freedom. It's one of my favorite topics, as most of you know, and something I've dedicated my life to. But what I want to say is first of all, I mean, there's a basic freedom that we all want, which is our dream of freedom. What is it that, how is it that we want to live? And it was many years ago that I realized that I wanted to live a life something like this, and in nature, in a cabin, and have enough free time to do really creative stuff as well as whatever work was required. And I mean, I spent 13 years doing tax returns for a living in order to get here. A lot of people work a lot harder and a lot tougher with a lot tougher jobs. I could have gotten here a lot faster, and I think pretty much everybody, certainly everybody we know, could get to their dream of freedom or very near it um, in a relatively short period of time, within a matter of years, using the methodology of life planning. So if I'd had a life planner rather than just trying to do it myself and invent it myself, I would have gotten here a lot faster. But the thing that I really want to say is that, we have this vision of who we want to be, and it's a thrill, or it's something that we feel deep in our heart that we feel would connect us to the ones we love, much more than how we're currently living. I mean, there are many of us, we have many different dreams of freedom. I believe in those dreams of freedom. I believe that if we all lived them, and I think we all should, the world would be a much better place. So what I want to say beyond that, though, is that when I got here, what I realized, and maybe I knew it before, probably did, but when I got here, I really realized that I mean, that dream wasn't anymore what I was pursuing, what I was after, what I was trying to make happen. What I realized was that I wanted to live every moment, each moment, in freedom. And and that was really interesting to me. I mean, nature helps because nature is the greatest teacher of being here in the moment, right? I mean, it's just incredible. Every moment you feel alive and it engages with you. You engage with it in a different way just by listening to its sounds or feeling its breezes. In my newest book, the Three Domains of Freedom, the first domain, well, the second domain is the life planning domain. Your life is yours. We're meant to live the life of our dreams. And the second, but the first domain is each moment is yours. And at first that feels maybe a little bit abstract or a little bit obvious. I think what I meant by that, and really what I mean by that, is that each moment we have the opportunity to live that experience of that dream of freedom. And the way that I would describe it most simply, I mean, nature really helps, but the way I would describe it, I mean, nature's out there, but what I want is the freedom in here. And I think the best way to describe it is that when we feel that freedom of that each moment is ours, we feel an authenticity inside of ourselves, a groundedness, a centeredness, a presence, a thrill that we don't feel at other times. And I put it as the first domain of freedom because we deserve to live in that freedom as well as the life that we design. It's important that we find a way to claim each moment is ours, or at least in the most difficult of moments, have a way of just going, no, this is my moment. I can do something with this. I can experience freedom even here. So I mean, I love mindfulness as a way of, as a practice that actually helps to deliver that. I think it is. It's a practice toward the mastery of the present moment. But each of us has our own way. Nature is another way. Spiritual practice is another way. Um, just feeling that we're doing what we want to do and we feel authentic is a great way to do it. So those were the first two domains, but there was something missing, and I would find it, as the news would creep in, and I remember, and usually it was wars that brought it up: the war in Iraq, the war in Afghanistan, the 9/11, those kinds of things. And then more recently, the extremes of polarization in our politics. And what I realize is that, when a people, a nation, a group says, we want to live in freedom, we want to claim that freedom. Of course, democracy is usually one of the first things they're looking toward. But it's part of us as well to live now in a global way as a species living in freedom. And that brings up this whole notion of what is civilization, which is the third domain of freedom. That civilization is us. It's us as a species. And what I came to realize that kind of stunned me. I mean, often we just go, oh gosh, I don't know. It's so difficult out there. Those big institutions, the billionaires, the political forces, the media. And we feel, I'm just going to stay here with what I got. And that's fine. That's fine. But we're really missing something. And what I've come to realize is that every moment that we're alive, if we pay attention, every moment, even that each moment is yours, every moment that we're alive is a moment in which we contribute to civilization. It may be a moment where we pause as we're talking. It may be a moment where we're struggling and trying to fix something. But what we're trying to do is to make life better, either for ourselves or for our families or for the people around us. Everywhere, every action that we take, every moment is a moment that we could reframe, and instead of going, oh, I can't do anything, go, yeah, I am doing something. What I'm doing is standing for the freedom of human beings as a species, as a civilization. And of course, the other thing that I realized was that the big institutions, they don't breathe. They're not human beings. They have a lot of human beings, obviously, in them. God bless. That's great, a great thing. But they're not human beings. And they're driven by a different set of rules. And what I've come to realize working through my professional life, working in the financial world, is that there's this guideline, really, of great financial advisors to put the clients first. We call it fiduciary, but it's a trustworthiness that that the best of the financial world, professionally, aims at. And what I realized was that there's no corporation that does that puts our values first, puts humanity first, puts democracy first, puts the truth first ahead of their own self-interest, puts the environment first. And so I realized that there's something we can do there as well, in terms of this is the time, as we've gone global, to make that difference for humanity and to step up to the plate as a species, not merely as a country or a nation or a family, but as a species. So civilization is a domain of freedom as well, and we make it that way, and we can make it that way for all of humanity.